I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're going to be taking a closer look at Grayson, issue number 20. Dick Grayson's time as a super spy is nearing its end, but can he save a friend from the deadly spider's web? Well, let's hop on in and find out together, shall we? So as the comic opens up, we see Dick Grayson in the belly of the beast, a castle belonging to Dr. Otto Netz, aka Dr. Datalist, the Nazi super criminal and head of both Spyral and Leviathan. And I mean, you know, as far as Nazi castles go, it's not quite as nice as Castle Wolfenstein, but you know, it's right up there with that one castle from Indiana Jones. Dr. Datalist has stolen Helena Bertinelli's body, and he plans to use her as the centerpiece for his evil plot, another endless cycle of war between the agencies of Spyral and the forces of Leviathan, a war without end, with him being the spider at the center of the web. Yeah, his plan doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. You gotta remember, Dr. Datalist was a Grant Morrison invention, a character who, as you find out through reading him, is suffering through Alzheimer's, so yeah. I'm not surprised that writers have a hard time wringing anything coherent out of this guy. To try and save the life of his friend and possible love interest, Dick decides to offer himself up to the Doctor in her stead. He agrees, and for a brief second, Dick Grayson is taken right inside his own hypno. It's a very trippy thing. It's kind of like the end of that last Harry Potter movie, The White Room train station. This is where he and Bertinelli kind of pay off all that sexual tension that's been around since the first issue, and she pretty much tells him to give the good doctor hell on the other side. Dr. Datalist ends up taking complete control of Dick Grayson's body and tries to kill Bertinelli. Worse still, he rubs some salt in the wound by saying now that he shares a mind with the Mr. Grayson, he can tell that the only woman he ever loved was named Barbara. Datalist ships those two. Wouldn't figure that the evil Nazi super criminal and me actually shared something in common. With a body of his own, Datalist is ready to move ahead with the next step of his plan, and that is erasing all information on his new host from all of recorded history and all of the net, making it so that he's the only one who ever owned this body. Well, geez, that's a pretty damn convenient thing to do, especially considering Dick Grayson was on the run. I guess this kind of wraps up everything, huh? What Netz could have never seen coming, though, is that years worth of training under Batman, years worth of adventures with the Titans, Dick has managed to train his mind and body to reject psychic attacks. Because of this, Dick is able to pull the evil doctor inside his own mind for a big old-fashioned psychic showdown, and oh, I have several problems with this panel. Okay, for one, that's not how Dick looked in his Batman costume. That also doesn't look like his acrobat costume. In fact, we see his acrobat costume in this issue and it's not yellow. And finally, I'm going to assume that's what Dick Grayson's Court of Owls costume was supposed to look like, only the thing is we actually did get to see what that looked like hypothetically in the pages of the Kyle Higgins run. The artist didn't do his homework. From here you can pretty much tell where the story's going. The many different aspects of Dick Grayson's personalities all band together and they end up expelling the Doctor, assumedly destroying him forever. This means Dick Grayson is finally once and for all free of Spyral, Netz, and any other conspiracy against him. He can regain his old life. But now that that's all out of the way, and before we can sing Kumbaya, we need to do a little bit of housekeeping. You remember Tiger, Dick's on-again, off-again buddy who turned out to actually be a secret sleeper agent for Checkmate? Well, he forgoes his evil Checkmate masters, kills the woman he loved who betrayed him, and decides to take over Spyral himself. No longer is there a matron, now there is a patron. Dick says a hearty goodbye to Helena and thanks her for all the good times. Helena tells him that, hey, you know what, it's funny, when I was inside Dr. Datalist's mind, I was sure to screw around with his program a little bit. Yeah, everyone in the world forgot that Dick Grayson was Nightwing, well, except for the Bat family, and me and anyone else who's going to remember in the next little bit. Also, I've decided to quit the spy game too. I need to go back and put my own personal life in order, so be sure to read about me in the Birds of Prey. And thus the comic, and by extension Grayson as a whole, ends with Dick saying he's been a lot of amazing things in his life. An acrobat, a sidekick, a superhero, a super spy. What's he gonna be next? Whatever the hell he wants. But probably Nightwing. Man, you know, it's hard to believe 19 issues ago people were all outraged at the idea of Dick Grayson hanging up his spandex and becoming a super spy. And yet, under the very capable guiding hands of Tim Seeley and Tom King, it ended up being one of the coolest, most interesting, and freshest takes on the character I've seen in a very long time. It's also just kinda sad that the two guys who helped kick off this experiment and make it worthwhile couldn't see it through to the very end. That being said, how is the ending itself? it was okay. It was definitely rushed. You could definitely see them, pushing to get to that conclusion where Datalist uses his magic Nazi science to make everyone forget. That and a bunch of art quibbles definitely keep this one from, being really good, but I mean, it was decent. It was above average as far as finales go. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer, or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Cape Joel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.